Thank you for watching The Guy Dawson Show at the World Center of Broadcast Media, WCOBM.com, live from fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Dr. Victoria gave us a pretty good education there, didn't she, Kwan?
Wow, such an informative business concept. I kind of learned a lot already, so I'm so looking forward to go to her event in August.
Amazing, intelligent woman.
A lot more. Very, very intelligent, very informative. The way she laid out the business and mentioned those important parts we have to learn before we make bigger steps, I think are very, very important, including myself.
Yeah, great preparation for anyone out there. If you're considering starting a 501c3 organization, I know that's a very popular thing now, is wanting to have a nonprofit organization, yet you have to be very careful that you go into it like a business person. You literally are running a business, and I think that her workshops are so valuable for that, making you very aware of the fact that you have to approach it like a philanthropreneur. You're someone that has a passion for something and follow the steps. Go to her workshops. I would highly encourage you to do that. Yeah. Annie Valentine.
Hi, nice to see you.
Quite the saleswoman. She is a saleswoman for Inside Henderson magazine, which is a blossoming publication out here in the city of Henderson.
Yeah, and I write as well.
Oh, do you write for IH as well?
Yes, absolutely. Writing is my favorite part of all magazines. Everybody likes to see themselves in print, right?
Oh, they like to see themselves on camera too, and on the radio or wherever else. I know you have quite a background in journalism and broadcasting.
Yeah.
How'd you get? Is this always been a passion for you?
No,
doing
actually,
this,
when I was in college, I realized that I just wanted to hurry up and graduate. And so I was going to go into English, but the English majors, they have to turn in 10 pages, and the journalism majors have to turn in 10 inches. So it was a pretty obvious choice
All right.
for me.
Quick and to the point with journalism.
Yeah. And then I ended up loving the broadcasting side and went that way. And I've kind of been a mommy writer for a lot of years. My kids are all in school now, so I'm able to focus a little bit more on journalism and get back to there, which is where I like to be.
And so you're doing some sales also with Inside Henderson. There's a balance there between you doing the writing, which you enjoy, and obviously you're probably, I know you are a really good saleswoman.
Well, this is my first time venturing into sales, but I have 5 brothers and 5 sisters. There's 11 kids in my family, and I'm the youngest, and 9 of them are entrepreneurs. So, which
in your blood.
Mostly in sales, yeah. And so I love sales. It's a really comfortable place for me to be. But if I don't have something to write, I get itchy. So I like both sides of it. It's been really fun to work with Buford and Michelle. They started the magazine. Buford started out as the Henderson Press editor. Both of them have, years and years of international, national publishing experience. And so this is kind of their brainchild, and I love it. I think there's a major place for local news outside of newspapers. Print is not dead.
Oh, I saw the value. That's how I met Buford and Michelle. They are amazing people. We used to write at the Henderson Press. I used to be a reporter for that publication, and I agree with you, Annie. There's actually a lot more value in local publications, I think, in this world, in a lot of ways, just for the same thought process that the doctor was just talking about. We live in a very socially oriented society now.
Well, and people want local news, and so much of our news has gone to Yahoo and online and the internet, but people want to read about local doctors and soccer teams, and they want to know who their local heroes are. And so moving it to a magazine, it's kind of the new wave of local news. As people have, honestly, newspapers, they're diminishing really rapidly when you look at the publication schedules of them. But there is still a want and a need for local news and local advertising.
Yes, there is. And I got together with Buford and Michelle a couple of months ago, and they were just releasing the first edition of this, actually, when the two of us got together. And my company, Class Communications, is actually a representative public relations firm working together with Inside Henderson. I was just so impressed by the professionalism, because I know how how sharp both of them are, and
Yes.
also their passion and commitment to bringing news to Henderson. There are no magazines or newspapers in the city of Henderson, and there are well over 200,000 people that live there.
Oh,
Certainly
absolutely.
a need.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that Buford especially, this has given both of them an opportunity to use some of their other journalism talents. With newspaper, you're kind of pigeonholed both in your voice and in your content. There's definitely a format, but the fun thing about starting this local magazine is it's just expanded their horizons. They can do so much more with graphics, with press, with voice, with the type of stories they want to cover and the type of writers that they bring in. People want a personal voice when they read. I mean, there's still a need for the basic journalism, but people like to read a bloggy voice. They like that first person take, a little bit of sass. And I think that when you do a magazine, it gives you a chance to bring in those type of personalities, those type of columnists, those type of writers, and they've definitely done that.
Mm-hmm. And again, the point that you brought up before is that you can relate to these people because you'll meet them. I mean, when I was writing for Inside Henderson I am a writer for Inside Henderson magazine, but when I was writing for the Henderson Press, I got all these magazines and newspapers that I'm in. But when I was writing, the most fun that I had, although I love writing the way that you do, it was being out in the community and meeting people.
Meeting people, going to ribbon cuttings, and meeting people that are making a difference in our community. There's just some amazing, the Henderson Chamber of Commerce alone, it's one of the best Chamber of Commerces that I've ever had any contact with, and we tend to move every couple years. So I've seen how, I've just been really impressed with how this community is set up.
And Henderson is really ripe for an opportunity like this. And like I said, right off the bat, when I got together with Buford and Michelle, and they showed me what they were doing, and I said, why hasn't anyone else thought of this?
Yes.
Why hadn't anyone thought of actually creating a publication specifically for Henderson, Nevada?
And my thought was, wow, that would be so easy to take to other cities. Inside Henderson, you could go inside any city and take that same format.
There's a marketing
it's a wonderful
perspective that I hadn't thought about. As the PR person, that's what I'm supposed to. Well,
yeah,
It's a
especially
great idea.
And I notice every issue that comes out editorially, they work harder and harder to find their voice. And it's really, in the magazine world, it's about finding your voice, and a voice that your local audience wants to listen to. They like what you have to say. And I think what people really like, people like to see themselves in magazines.
They do.
When you're writing local, people want to see pictures of their neighbors. They want to know about what's going on at their school. Yeah, so there's definitely a place for this.
Yeah, there's a lot of value, and I know that the community itself is really embracing Inside Henderson. Yeah. When I go to the libraries, I always see people reading it. It's
nice.
It's a community thing. It really is, especially when you only have one publication within your community. This becomes truly the resource of the entire town.
Absolutely, with scheduling and everything.
Yeah. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we're going to talk about what it's like being a salesperson for an emerging magazine.
Well, I'll ask you. You can tell me.
We'll be back in a few minutes with more of The Guy Dawson Show at WCOBM.com.